following podcast is recorded and produced by Emerge, a media creators co-op, in affiliation with the network at bicbp-radio.com.
Yo, what up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Getting Loser. We're starting a podcast. You know the voice, you know the name. Now, you get to see the face. It's your boy, Cheetah.
Yo, it's your boy Chop in the D Rizzo. You know, I'm going to keep it real for real in this joint.
What? You should start going second from now on.
Hell no.
How do I
Let
follow
fucking
that?
Chop go last.
Hell
He's
no.
got some weird shit to say.
I'll go first next time.
No.
It's your guy Yoder.
Well, you can't ever just say something normal. You always got to make it weird.
Hey, new persona.
Were you a DJ in the 90s?
Yeah, I was. DJ Chop in the morning.
Uh-huh. You say so.
In the morning, but at night.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Well,
yeah.
back again. Another episode. Another week. Tons of snow.
Yes.
Life sucks.
Apparently, it's snowed for over 36 days.
Okay, that's the last time you're all to say that today. No,
Right.
you already said it 4 times.
We're on the air now, so now I got
Oh, my
Yeah, that's true.
a lot of followers now.
Oh,
Get a lot of followers, huh?
Mm-hmm. Well, how was your guys' weeks?
Yeah, not so good.
Why is that?
Grandma's in the hospital. She fell while I was working overnight.
Did she break anything? Or?
Yeah, she outer shoulder. I think it was her left. Yeah, her left outer shoulder. Her left femur / hip area.
Ooh. That's not
Not a
good.
nice shiny. Not a shiny, but like a scratch right here, like a gash right there. And she had a hematoma. She had a hematoma in her eye. Like, you look at her eye, it's like, it looks sick, but it's like kind of cool at the same time. Like, she's like, it's all maroon red, and you see her eye color.
Damn.
Yeah, stuff.
And dealing with the snow. Ugh.
How
How old is she?
Yeah.
83.
Wow.
She's a tough old lady, though.
Sounds like it.
She ain't going down. The only way she's going out is on her own terms, so. She's
Yep.
too stubborn to go out on anybody else's terms.
She's an old Irish woman. You know how they are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, thankfully, it wasn't worse than that. Thankfully.
Yeah.
That's a
still-
good thing.
Is she in rehab or
I'm not really, she's still in the hospital right now.
what hospital?
Memorial.
Oof.
Oof. Oh yeah, you gotta pay $2 to get out that damn parking lot now. That's some bullshit, man. Why the fuck you gonna have to pay $2? Luckily we're not Mercy Hospital. They're paying like $6 to get out of the parking lot.
It's a racket, man.
Man, we're in the wrong record here.
When I started having my heart issues, the first time I was at work, well, they all happened at work, but it happened on a Thursday. I was in the hospital till the following Tuesday.
Mm-hmm. Was your heart hurting because it was broken, Yoder?
No, it was it was beating too fast.
Jeez, man. A little excited, huh?
Yeah, it was beating over 300 beats a minute.
Holy. That's not good.
300 what?
300 beats per minute.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
How's that even possible?
that's my chest. Huh? Well, it got up to 600.
And you fucking didn't die?
And then had a heart attack?
That's crazy, dude.
Wait, that's
Someone's
another.
looking out for you.
Yeah, that's another thing he keep hidden from us. Comes more in these episodes. Oh yeah, by the way,
That's what
I got stage 4.
One day he's going to walk in and just be like, oh, yeah, by the way, I used to hang out with fucking Ronald Reagan back in high school or something. Sorry, Yoder. That was a low blow.
just Nancy.
Oh, okay. That was a low blow. Are you getting tired of the
first
old man jokes yet, or
You
what?
pick on my pants. Now you pick.
I'm not picking on him. I'm just saying you're wearing the old school old guy sweats, man. Nothing wrong with that. You know,
Yo,
those are the kind of sweats that you'd go over your grandparents' house and your grandfather would be walking around, no shirt on, just the sweats.
Well,
with the socks pulled all the way up. Hey, man, nothing wrong with
Yo,
that. I
if
bet
I
they're
had
comfy, though.
I couldn't get dressed. I would have been late for the pod. So
I bet they're comfy.
old man missed the pod late. So
hey, I come on time every time.
you
Yeah,
were late.
okay. You're literally never on time.
Yes.
I'm fashionably early, late. But hey, if I had time, I'll get my sweatpants on.
You can't be fashionably late if you're not fashionable.
I am fashionable.
You look like you let Ray Charles dress you.
Look like Ray Charles dress you.
No, I look good.
I am a badass though.
Okay, that's the last time you could say that, too. You already said it twice. We're putting a
Yo,
limit on your
yo,
sayings.
Don't let him bully you. You can say what the hell you want.
Shut up.
You shut up, bitch.
Stop being mean to me.
I
Or
agree.
shut this pod down forever. I would place you guys. Me and Rich will do it every day. Just me and him.
Yeah,
There
that'd
is
be
no
a-
replacement for the two
We'll
of
call
us.
the
Nope.
Rich. We'll call it the Rich and Sean show.
and Rich would be no bueno dog.
Mm-hmm.
I got a lot to say about the Sasquatch.
Perfect. See?
See?
Perfect. Well, Yoder, how was your week? How have things been?
Good.
Wait. Before you go on, any deer hit car?
No deer accidents.
Yeah.
Another uneventful as far as that goes.
Very good.
New phones.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, in Yoder fashion, that couldn't be easy.
Of course not.
Did I tell you what happened?
I don't think so.
All right. So Super Bowl Sunday, I'm at BJ's, and I was disappointed.
Oh, yeah, you did tell me a little bit on the way
I
here
never,
last
I never heard of it.
So I went to, as I just said, I went to BJ's, and I was disappointed because you know how Staples sells Staples.
Yeah.
Well, BJ's doesn't follow suit.
Yep.
But
Dad joke.
yeah, it's an old man joke. So they had a AT&T representative there, and he stops me and says, "Hey, sir, can I ask you who you have for carrier?" And I said, "Verizon." And he's like, "Well, how much do you pay?" I said, "Well, about $600." And he's like, "Wow, if I can save you money." And he's like, "What you got?" And I said, "Well, it's 4 phones, a watch, and 2 iPods." So I was there, it felt like forever. And he's like, it came down to like about $260 for everything, but with AT&T, but bring my own watch and iPads. So I signed the tablet and give him my card for the taxes. It was $350 for taxes.
Jesus.
What the fuck?
That's just the taxes?
That was just the taxes, yeah.
Oh, hell no. Oh, fuck.
So the following day, I get home and I got a package from AT&T.
That was fast. You took AT&T about a week to get your shit.
None of the phones were what we ordered.
Of course not.
Because I wanted the 16 Max Pro, but I wanted the terabyte, and I got the 156.
Dope.
And I'm like, well, this is way too small.
Yeah.
And my partner he's got the Samsung Fold, and the Galaxy Fold, and we ordered the 512 for that, and he got the 256. And the other phones were all screwed up, and then they had phone numbers. I don't know where he got the phone numbers from. So
Yeah.
I called customer service, and I wasn't getting anywhere with them.
Did you have to speak to somebody who's not American?
Correct.
That's the fucking worst, man. No offense, but that doesn't make any sense to me.
Yo, before continuing on with your story, I had to do that with my Spectrum internet. Called it the internet deal. The internet deal. There. I said, can you help me hook my internet up? Oh, can't. No one's available. I was like, okay. I was like, she was trying to egg me on. I like, no, she's making me mad. I said, I want to talk to your manager, supervisor. She takes like 15 minutes. Oh, he's busy. I was like, I don't care. I want to talk to the manager. She's like, oh, you still here? I was like, yes. I want to talk to your manager. I clicked. I called the customer service number. He helped me out. And I said, yes, I'm over in promotions.
When I first started when I first moved into my place, when I first got Spectrum, when I like set up my bill and everything, set up like my account, for the longest time, for some reason, they put my name as Sean Sowell. Like it was Sowle. And every time I'd call, I'd be like, bro, that's not my name. It's an F. It's Fowl. They'd be like, okay, sir, we change it. Never change it. It took a year for them to finally change it. I was like, dog, what are you doing? Like, how do you even make that mistake? It doesn't even sound similar.
But if you do Monday through Friday, or I think it's Monday through Sunday, if you call before 2 a.m., you talk to somebody that's from America, like, people say, oh, hey, I'm from the New York division, or I'm from Florida division.
I spoke to a guy one time, super nice. He was like from Tennessee, super nice guy.
That's luckily for Verizon or for Spectrum, because I live in a complex. We have community solutions, so
What's that?
I've always got.
What's community solutions?
That's what we call customer service.
Hey.
We got our own special customer service.
Oh, look at you, bougie.
And
okay.
When they upgraded, because our modem and everything used to be in a wall in a cabinet, and at first the guy says, I need you to go in the cabinet, and I'm like, I don't have access to the cabinet. That's you guys.
Yeah.
Spectrum would come out and they had the keys to the. He goes, well, I need the equipment. I'm like, well, you're not getting the equipment. I don't have access to the equipment to give you. So when we first went back, it was like, what the fuck?
That's a mess. It's
We
never
eventually
easy.
got it straightened out, and I've had no issues, luckily.
Never easy.
But with AT&T, I had to go to an AT&T store, and I told the manager what was happening, and he's like, I can get everything straightened. So I want to get the correct phones, and he's like, now they want, you ready for this?
Mm.
They want a $2,000 down deposit.
No.
And I'm like, what are you
Nope.
talking about?
Oh, no.
And he goes, well, the problem is you have your 5 phones, and now you're putting 5 more phones. So now they think that you want 10 phones.
What the fuck?
I'm like, you need to straighten it out.
Yeah.
So after 3 days, we finally got it straightened out.
Like, dog, I don't want 10 phones. Take the other 5 phones off.
Right. And then
I'm just upgrading my phones.
that took 2 days to transfer what they call them ports, because
Yeah.
you're importing the phones.
Yeah.
But it canceled. It was just. So the moral of the story is never get your phones from BJ's.
What did you switch to? You switched to AT&T? Or you
Yeah.
already had AT&T?
No, I switched to
Where'd you go?
AT&T from Verizon.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because when I switched to Spectrum, because they gave me a better deal, and because I have internet through them, so they gave me a. So like I don't think I pay for like my first year signing up with them. I only paid like $10 for my phone bill. So I switched to Spectrum, but when I switched, I was switching from Boost, which is known for being fucking terrible and having the worst customer service ever, probably. But when I switched, I tried to take my number with me, and they wouldn't let me take my number because they're like, "Oh, you haven't had your phone for over a year, so you have to wait until it's over a year for them to release your number to you." And I'm like, "That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard."
Yeah.
And at that point, I was so annoyed that I'm like, "You know what? I don't even want to wait. I'm just gonna leave." That's why I had to lose my number. I And I've had that number for literally ever.
And that's another thing.
I was pissed.
Yo, yeah, that
They
number.
AT&T wanted to give me a new number, and I'm like, no, I've had this number for years, for forever.
You know, he used to change his phone number like he changed his underwear. Every time he goes to a new phone company.
But the 86007 one, I had that one forever. That was my favorite number.
Just because of that song?
It was a great, it was just a great number. It was perfect. I remembered it perfectly. It took me forever to remember this one. Now I finally got it down. But now, even now, I still got to recheck to make sure when I'm sending it to a woman, you know? You know, I send my number to a lot of women, no big deal.
Hey, how's your, we should actually make that as a dating show.
Oh, yeah. Rich, I forgot to tell you, last week we decided for my dating show we're going to put on here, it's going to be like the dating game. We're going to have a wall between me and the woman, and I'm just going to ask them questions. So I can't go based off looks.
It's like Love is Blind.
Yeah, there you go.
So just to be clear, I just want to make sure I understand this. So you can't see the girl.
Yeah.
We can. Me and Yoda can.
You guys can see the girl, but you can't see the girl. But can the girl see you?
Well, I think they're going to see me before, you know what I mean? Like, they'll
Okay.
see me before they come in, I guess.
So it's like The Voice,
Yeah.
but it's dating.
Yeah, pretty much.
There should be big buttons in a chair. You can spin
Yeah.
it around and stuff.
Perfect.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Now I got to buy
Yeah.
a chair that spins around.
Or we could just do it.
I'll just sit in a desk chair and spin around myself. That'd be cool.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do it. Don't worry. I'm going to find love in all the wrong places.
I'm wondering, would a female come on the show like that?
Yeah, why not? Who wouldn't come on the show? Look at me. I look like Zac Efron's stunt double. Of course they'd come on the show.
I'm just saying.
I'm a handsome man.
I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm. Oh, thanks. My week was good, too. Thanks for asking.
Well, that's why I'm looking at you.
No, you guys never ask. It's cool. I'm used to it now.
He never let us ask.
You guys never ask, so I'm used to it now.
I call.
How
get
was
the
your
brunt.
week?
I get the brunt of it. You guys
Sorry.
don't even care about me. I'm sick of it. If I had other friends, I'd quit, but I don't have any other friends. So.
Well, judging by your nose,
I think it's my cat, bro. I don't know. I didn't even know my nose was scratched. I woke up with a scratch on my arm the other day, too. I don't know where it came from.
my cat beat the.
My cat chewed all the hair off her tail, so now it's just like a skin tail. And it freaks me out when it touches me. I get all freaked out. She'll like jump on me and then like it'll like touch my hand and I'm like,
Like a rat tail? Ugh.
yeah, dude. It's like touching, you know. It's like when you're back in like church school and your old pastor would put his wiener in your hand. That's what it felt like. You know? Oh, I mean, that didn't happen to me. Yeah, he was alright. Kind of shitty, unfortunately.
Why is that?
I've been off since Friday.
Jesus.
I just went back to work today.
And you had a snow go.
Yeah, and I had a snow go, so. But, you know, unfortunately, other than, you know, Drew's grandma falling, or Chop's grandma falling, that wasn't the only sad news our family got this week, unfortunately.
More?
Yeah, our cousin's ex-husband, Jimmy, he unfortunately took his life. You know, it's rough when you hear something like that, you know what I mean? You never know how to react, and it's especially sad because he's got 2 kids, and they're still, you know what I mean, they're not that old yet, so it's really going to be rough on them. I really feel bad for him. It sucks, man. You know?
Yeah.
That's shitty. And then, you know, life was like, hey, man, why don't we make things just slightly more annoying for you? And my fucking pipes froze again.
No way.
Yeah, so. This time they froze so bad that my toilet won't flush, so. Yo, you don't know real struggle till you gotta poop outside in the snow. That's a real struggle right there.
I did it once.
Very unfortunate.
Yoda. When we were younger, we decided it'd be a bright idea to run from camp. Worst mistake ever. Me, him, Troop Cobber, and my sister all went to Bob's boot camp, and the 2 other
Well,
cousins.
guess why we got caught? He forgot to leave that part out. Guess why we got caught, Yoder?
I was taking a shit.
Because he had to stop taking shit. That's why we got caught. We could have been on the run right now still.
As
We could have been living in boxcars and trains probably.
The hobo life.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, we had to do push-ups. We had to. It was worse than.
It wasn't just push-ups. It was push-ups with my grandfather's foot on your back.
You can't be. You got this. I'm looking at it. I was like, this is bullshit, man.
I know this generation would hear something like that and think that's child abuse, but back then that's just,
It was.
But
that was just how it was.
then, like when we got punished, we can't have dessert. Our two cousins, like mocking us to eating dessert in front of us. Like, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
That's okay, because I killed their cat years later. Just kidding. For legal reasons, I'm just kidding. But yeah, that's about, pipes froze. That's pretty shitty. I feel bad for my brother because
He's got to get egg.
This is his first winter living in a trailer, and he's not used to it. Me, I'm used to it, you know what I mean? So it doesn't bother me. I know what to do, you know what I mean? Plus, I can always just shower at work if I need to, or do laundry at work. So I feel bad for him, but, just gives me motivation, I guess, this summer I'll have to finally do some home improvements, like wrap my pipes. Stop being lazy. I just need somebody else to do it for me. I don't want to do it. I don't want to climb under. That's fucking scary. I hate it under there. Freaks me out.
All the other creatures.
I was under there one time and I think something touched my butt.
The cat's tail.
No, man, it was something. Ugh. Just thinking about it freaks me out. I feel bad because my cat's so cuddly, She always wants to cuddle, but then it touches me and I'm like, get away from me, bro. I feel bad. Poor cat. That poor baby. She's so fat and smelly. I love her to death. But yeah, that's about the worst of it. And then went to work today and found out that over the weekend, must have just been in the air because over the weekend, one of our main buildings, the pipes burst, and now it's going to be shut down for at least 3 months. So we're getting our hours cut. And usually near the end of winter, that's when our hours start to go back up again because that's when we start getting busy in the summer. Now our hours are going to be cut again. So it's going to be a fucking struggle moving forward. I'll have to figure something out. Maybe I'll collect unemployment or something. It's very unfortunate.
Yes.
I'm very sad because I love that building. It's my favorite building ever.
What?
It's my favorite building ever, man. I'm sad. It's all destroyed and shit. It's all beat up. Ceiling tiles fell out. Like, it got bad in there. Like, the electrical room flooded. So the elevator shot. A bunch of the hallway lights are shot. Because water got in the fuse boxes and shit. Yeah, it's bad. It's going to be down for a while.
You see Michigan?
Yeah, I seen the one road that, flooded and then froze over.
Yeah, it's 6...
Fucking beautiful. Oh,
like
dude.
6 feet
What
away.
the hell?
That's insane.
The cars are frozen.
Like, what do you even do? Just, don't, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, what if you need to, get groceries ordered or something? You gotta walk to the end of the street to get them?
Yeah, or
Get on a sled and just push yourself?
swim on the ice.
You want to hear
Get a kayak and just push?
You know something crazy? Toronto had a plane flip over.
Yeah, I've seen that too.
Yeah, you see what...
They're offering the passengers
30,000 each. I want more. I mean, if I was injured, I would want more.
I don't know.
Fuck, man, I'll take 30 grand and walk away happily.
Well,
you know what I could do with 30 grand right now?
Get a new house.
Oh, yeah, I probably should get a new house, actually. No, I'd get a hooker.
You get heat tape.
I'd spend $20 of my 30 grand just to get heat tape. Be like, okay, I'm done. That's all I needed. If I had 30 grand, I'd probably just call somebody, have them come over and be like, yo, tell me every single thing that needs to be fixed, then fix it. Here you go. Because it's really not that much, you know what I mean? It's just basic shit. It's like basic maintenance that hasn't been done for years because nobody ever did it. Like, I got to retire the roof. That's supposed to be done every few years.
I remember doing that.
What?
I remember doing that.
Yeah, that's supposed to be done every few years. Nobody's done it, ever. Nobody did it since the roof was put on.
Oh, we did it every year.
Yeah, so you got to do that every couple of years, you know what I mean? The heat tape, obviously. Then, that's basically it, really. There's nothing really... There's not really a lot of big shit that needs to be done on it. Just, you know what I mean? It'll be good to have my brother there this summer because I don't have somebody to motivate me to do it.
Oh, hopefully he doesn't move.
Yeah.
Can't take it.
He'll get sick of it eventually.
Will he?
Hopefully he helps me fix everything before he leaves. Me, I ain't never leaving. I'm gonna die in that place. If that place sinks into a hole, I'm going with it. Me and my baby down together. I'm going down with the Titanic. I'm gonna just start playing a fiddle, even though I can't play a fiddle. If you wanna play a fiddle, put it in the band. Or was it? If you wanna play in Georgia, gotta have a fiddle in the band.
Oh, Devin went down to Georgia?
No.
Oh.
Get out, Yoder.
That is a good song right there.
God. I'm sick of you. Alright, what do you guys say? Should we get into this?
Mm-hmm. Let's get
We
happy.
got a doozy here. Heading back to our roots with a nice little serial killer.
Hey, ask me how much research I did.
I'm not going to ask.
15 minutes, I fell asleep.
No. Really?
Yeah.
No way.
I tell you what, the information I learned from that 15 minutes I watched, serial killer.
Thanks. Thanks for that. Thanks for your input. It was very helpful.
But I as we discussed serial killers before, they like doing small things like killing animals, burning shit on fire, and yada yada yada.
You mean setting shit on fire?
Hell yeah.
I don't like the way that you get excited when you talk about fire. Makes me think you might be a serial killer.
Fire.
They were finding bodies in the falls for a while. Maybe it was you.
How you know I'm gonna be the guy that's been chopping people's heads off?
Probably.
No, I'm not. I'm just playing. I'm not.
FBI's gonna be at your house when you get home, though.
Probably. Or what if it was a woman chopping heads off?
That'd be cool. I love women serial killers. I think they're hot. Except for Eileen Warno. She looked like a foot. Alright, let's get into this. Today we're talking about Keith Hunter Jesperson. Born April 6, 1955. He's an Canadian-born American serial killer known as the Happy Face Killer, for the smiley face he drew on many of his letters to the media and prosecutors. Keith had a very violent and troubled childhood under a domineering, alcoholic father, treated like an outcast by his own family, and teased by other children for his large size at a young age. Are you sure your name's not Keith Jesperson? Because this is starting to sound like you a little bit. Big man at a young age? That's you right there.
I wasn't that big.
You were pretty big. You had a giant head.
This guy's 6'8".
Did he die?
No, he's in prison. Jesperson was a lonely child who showed a propensity for torturing and killing animals, despite consistently getting into trouble in his youth, including twice attempting to kill children who had crossed him. Jesperson graduated high school, secured a job as a truck driver, got married, and had 3 children. In 1990, after 15 years of marriage, Jesperson was divorced and saw his dream to become a Royal Canadian Mounted Policeman dashed following an injury. It was that year, after returning to truck driving, that Jesperson began to kill. Dun dun dun. Okay, let's talk a little bit about his life. Yeah. He was born April 6, 1955, to Leslie and Gladys Jesperson in Chilliwack, British Columbia.
Chilliwack.
The middle child of with 2 brothers and 2 sisters. His father, as we said, was an alcoholic. Jesperson claimed that his paternal grandfather was also violent. Les Jesperson denied being an abusive parent. However, while investigating for his book on Jesperson, author Jack Olson was able to confirm much of the claimed abuse with other family members. In his younger years, Jesperson was given less attention than his siblings and treated differently by the rest of his family. After moving to Selah, Washington, Jesperson had trouble fitting in and making friends because of his large size. His brothers did not help him. Instead, they nicknamed him Igor, or Eeg, a name that stuck throughout his school years. Because of this, he was a shy child, content to play by himself Much of the time, he would often get into trouble for behaving badly, sometimes violently, and would be severely punished by his father. This included beatings, sometimes with a belt in front of others, and in one case he received an electric shock from his father.
Damn.
That's crazy. Next kid that complains about child abuse, I'm going to tell him, did your dad electrically shock you? No? Well, then you got off well. In the years, at a very young age, as young as 5, Jesperson would capture and torture animals. He enjoyed watching animals kill each other, as well as the feeling he got from taking their lives. This continued as he got older. He would capture birds and stray cats and dogs around the trailer park. Yeah, trailer park! Where he lived with his family, severely beating the animals and then strangling them to death. Something he claims his father was proud of him for. In years following, Jesperson said he often thought about what it would be like to do the same for a human. That desire manifested in 2 attempted murders. The first happened when Jesperson was around 10 years old. This dude tried to kill someone when he was 10.
10.
10, bro. You know what I was doing when I was 10? Watching, like, cartoons and shit.
And jerking off.
No. I've never touched my wiener, ever. I'm a virgin, so.
Yoda.
Saved myself for
He's been
marriage.
jerking off since he was 10 years old.
How you know, man? You be watching me, you weirdo?
You weirdo. You're the weirdo.
Yeah, the first happened with a kid he was friends with named Martin. Well, that's what you get for having a stupid fucking name like Martin. And the two would often get into trouble together. Jesperson claimed he was punished many times for things Martin had done and blamed on Jesperson. This led Jesperson to attack Martin, violently beating him until his father pulled him away. He later claimed his intention was to kill the boy. Approximately a year later, Jesperson was swimming in a lake when another boy held him underwater until he blacked out. Sometime later, at a public pool, Jesperson attempted to drown the boy, holding his head underwater until the lifeguard pulled him away.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Jesperson claims that he lost his virginity in high school at the age of 14 during an act of rape. Oh, that's nice to be proud of. He graduated high school in 1973, but did not attend college because his father did not believe he could do it. Yoda, when did you go to school? When did you graduate high school?
1988.
Damn, I'm sorry, Yoda. I'd be thinking you're way older than you actually are, dude. Now I feel bad. I'm so sorry. I was like, oh, I wonder if Yoda went to school at the same time. I'm sorry, pal.
I'm leaving.
I'm sorry, dude. I don't have a very good concept of time. It's alright. You'll be alright.
Your concept of time. Irrelevant.
Shut up.
You shut up.
Although he was not successful with girls in high school, having never even attended a school dance or his prom. Hey, I didn't go to prom either.
Me either.
Did you go to prom, Yoda?
Yes. In fact, I went to 2 proms in the same night.
Were you prom king? Damn it.
2 different girls, 2 different schools.
Okay, Yoda, calm down. Jeez.
Lockport and Starpoint.
Calm down,
I'm
man.
sorry,
Jeez.
Tonawanda and Starpoint.
Jeez, man. Don't break your arm jerking yourself off. Just kidding, buddy. Love you. Wonder Twin Powers activate. What was I? Oh, yeah. He did enter in a relationship after high school, though. When in 1975, Jesperson was 20, he married Rose Huck, and the couple had 3 children, 2 daughters and 1 son. Jesperson began work as a truck driver to support the family. Several years later, Huck began to suspect Jesperson was having affairs. Tension in the marriage increased, and after 14 years, Huck decided she had enough. While Jesperson was a truck driver, was on the road, she packed up her and her children's belongings and drove 200 miles away to live with her parents in Spokane, Washington. The oldest child, Melissa, was 10 years old. Jesperson continued to spend time with his children when he was in town, The couple officially divorced in 1990. At the age of 35, standing at 6'6", and weighing approximately 240 pounds, Jesperson began working toward the goal of becoming a Royal Canadian Mounted Policeman. Are the mounted policemen, are those the ones who ride the horses and shit? Like
Yes.
Dudley Do Right?
Yes.
Yes, mounted.
That's badass, kind of. Don't ever tell me I said that, but that's badass. Oh, what?
I think you just told everybody.
What's the fun of whispering?
I like the hats.
I do too.
Yes.
The hats are cool,
Oh, yeah,
right?
yeah, I like the hats. Yeah, the hats are
That's because
awesome.
that flat brim,
Yeah, I think it's badass.
like gangster. You know, like how the
Yeah.
gangsters wear flat brims. It's like they're Canadian
it's
gangster.
badass. Yeah, those guys are cool, man. I don't care what nobody says.
I think I'd rather mess with a Mountie than the Ontario Police Department. Them guys could be dickheads.
Imagine you get arrested by a Mountie and just hog ties you, throws you over the back of his horse. That'd be kind of badass, actually. I'd be like feeling like I'm in Red Dead. I'd just be screaming. I'd be like, Dutch! Dutch! You know, like Red Dead. You ever play that game? Red Dead 2?
Good game.
It's one of the
Playing
best games ever
PlayStation
made.
5 right now.
One of the best games ever made. Yo, have you ever seen, super off topic, bro, you ever seen Little Giants? Rick
Yes.
Moranis?
Yes,
Fucking great movie. Tell me the movie's not great.
it's good.
One of the
Whatchamacallit's in that movie too, right? Ed.
Ed O'Neill.
Yes.
Drew Chop's favorite guy.
Yes.
Man, if I could meet Ed O'Neill, I swear,
Oh my
geez,
god.
I'd burn
Yo,
my-
we're gonna find a way one of these days to do an episode where you're gonna sit here and they're gonna react to heavyweights for the first time ever. It's gonna be glorious. Me and Rich are gonna figure it out. We're gonna figure it out. It's gonna be badass. And if you don't love it, all three of us are gonna take you out back and kill you. Execution style.
No, we won't.
Yoder. Yes. Okay. He suffered an injury while training, and that ended his dream. Unfortunately, he then sought working as an interstate truck driver after relocating to Cheney, Washington. Jesperson soon realized that this job would afforded him the opportunity to kill without being suspected.
That's the idea.
So
right there.
imagine if this guy would have been able to become a Mountie, maybe he never would have become a serial killer.
Or he probably would be a crooked cop.
I don't know. He said that becoming a truck driver is what gave him the. That's what told him like, yo, I could kill people now and get away with it. So maybe if he didn't go back to truck driving, maybe he never would have killed. You know what I mean? I feel like a lot of people, I feel like most people don't say it out loud because, the way people look at you. But I feel like almost everyone at one point in their life has had that, has like wondered what it'd feel like to kill somebody. You know what I mean? Like you get mad enough, you're like, you know what I mean?
Right.
But most of us are just smart enough to never act on it.
Can't contain the weight, the rage.
I've been there before. Don't get me wrong. Thankfully, I never did it. Because, I couldn't survive prison. I'm too pretty. I'd be somebody's bitch real quick.
You gotta hold her pocket.
Like that dude from Half Baked.
Or
I'm
you
someone's bitch.
or you gotta hold her pocket.
Oh, yeah, I'd be holding her. Dude, if that's how I gotta survive, gotta do what you gotta do, man.
Right.
I had a plan when I was younger. I used to tell everybody if I ever got arrested, I'd eat a lot of glass right before I went in, so it would all just build up right in my butthole.
Or you could put glass in your butthole.
I wasn't very smart back then. I didn't realize that, eating glass would just tear my insides up and I would die.
Yes.
Maybe I should go to therapy, I think.
You are. You got me and Yoda as your therapy counselors.
You're the worst therapist I've ever met in my life.
Go fuck yourself.
Exactly. See? Yo, what are you doing over there, man? Sleeping on me?
I know.
Jeez. It's past your bedtime?
Yeah, getting old, so
Yeah.
8 o'clock.
You should be watching TV Guide right now.
Yeah.
They don't got TV Guide anymore.
With your tighty whities on, pulled up too high.
Or be like the guy from, is it Harold Kumar? Where old man had the woody and he just started knocking.
No, that's Road Trip.
You gotta put that away. I don't give a
Walks
fuck.
to the door, he's got a raging boner. It's fucking, I love that movie. It's hilarious.
You ever watch Road Trip?
Yes.
It's Speaking of road trip, Tom Green just did a pod with Theo Don. I bet it's fucking hilarious. Them two together, I bet it's great.
We had Tom Green mini version for 2 episodes in a row.
Yes.
I don't know. Then he shaved his beard. Motherfucker. All right. Jesperson's first known victim was Tanja Bennett on January 23rd, 1990. How interesting. The same year he got divorced. Near Portland, Oregon. He introduced himself to Bennett at a bar and later invited her to the house he was renting. The two were intimate before he started an argument that ended with him brutally beating and then strangling her to death. He established an alibi by going back out for some drinks, being sure to converse with others before returning to retrieve Bennett's body and belongings to dispose of them. He was back on the road the next day. The body was found a few days later, but there were no suspects and no leads. This guy was a fucking criminal mastermind. He said, I just killed this chick. I'm going to leave her here now. I'm going to go back to the bar, get a couple drinks, talk with some people, then go back, hide the body, dip. And he got away with it. Well, for a little bit at least. That's crazy. That's crazy, dude.
Yo, what if you're at the bar, you saw Jefferson. Jesperson. Or Happy Face. If you Happy Face. And he was talking to some chick and he leaves. Do you think you would make a question?
No, I think it was just some guy at the bar getting lucky.
But he comes back without her coming back.
I don't know. I mean, you gotta remember, back then, there probably wasn't, you know what I mean? It's not like now where people question everything, that kind of situation, because you're like, oh, I know so much about serial killers now. Now, I would question some shit like that. Back then, they were probably just like, whatever, man. You know? What are they even worrying about in the 90s? Like, I don't know. Not Y2K, because that wasn't for another 10 years. Right? So what are they worried about in the 90s? I don't know. In Washington. How was the, or in Oregon, how was the, what was the football team? The Oilers back then?
Seahawks.
For Oregon?
Huh?
Oh, yeah, you're right. How were the Seahawks doing back in the 90s? Good? I mean, that's all they were worried about.
Yeah, that's when they had coach of the Bills.
Marv?
No. Before Marv.
I don't know. Shab, what do you? Come on, you got all the football knowledge. Who was the coach before Marv?
Chuck Knox.
Chuck.
Was it Chuck Knox?
Fucking let me down. I'm sick of you. Around 10 p.m. on Thursday, April 12, 1990, in a shopping center parking lot in Mount Shasta, California, next to the I-5 corridor, Jesperson was approached by an intoxicated woman carrying an infant. Both the woman and child ended up in Jesperson's car where a conversation started. She introduced herself as Jean and the child as her 6-month-old son. Jesperson told her his full name and they drove to a remote location. During an act of oral sex while the infant lay in the back seat, Jean stopped and asked to be driven home. Jesperson forced her to finish the act and then attempted to break her neck when she became angry. Failing to break her neck and not wanting to kill the child, Jesperson returned the woman and her child to the shopping center. I mean, at least he didn't kill the kid, right? Gotta give him points for that, I guess. Like, he might have killed a bunch of women, but at least he didn't kill a kid. You know?
Mm-hmm.
It's gotta count for something, I guess. Jesperson was arrested at gunpoint in Corning, California soon after. The personal details he revealed that led police straight to him. He was questioned at the scene and uncuffed and told to go speak to a detective with the Shasta Police Department, which he immediately did. He was interrogated and claimed her neck getting twisted was simply an accident from the cramped space of the car. He also led them to evidence that supported his version of events, including showing them an empty liquor bottle near the parking lot that he claimed was Jean's. His version was apparently more believable than Jean's, and he was released.
This motherfucker just played it off.
Dude, it's the same thing with like John Wayne Gacy when he got caught super early and they let him off because they didn't have any evidence. They could have stopped him right there and stopped Basically, most of his killings right there.
Yo, the John Wayne Gacy episode, we say fucking clown like so many times in an episode.
That's crazy shit, dude. It's crazy now. Like, you read about it now, and you're like, if they would have just stopped him then, they would have, you know what I mean? How much could have been stopped?
Right.
But, you know, they didn't know, obviously. But, yeah, it's fucking crazy, dude. That's some crazy shit. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. Despite that, a charge was filed against him for sexual assault. When he failed to appear in court, a felony warrant was issued. He was later arrested in Iowa at a weight check station after they ran his name in the National Crime Information Center database, finding the outstanding warrant from California. However, Shasta County's warrant was too weak, so the charge was reduced to a misdemeanor. After that, the cost of extradition wasn't worth it, and he was eventually exonerated of all charges. That's crazy.
Man, doing a crime, not getting caught.
That's crazy. It was a year and a half after his first kill when Jesperson killed again. On August 30th, 1992, the body of a woman he raped and strangled was found near California. He says the Jane Doe's name was Claudia. A month later, in Turlock, California, the body of Cynthia Lynn Rose was discovered. He claims she was a prostitute who entered his truck at a truck stop while he slept. His fourth victim was another prostitute, Lori Ann Pentland of Salem, Oregon. Her body was found in November of that year. According to Jesperson, she attempted to double the fee she charged for the sex he had engaged in with her. She threatened to call the police, and he strangled her. It was more than 6 months before his next victim was found in July 1993, a Jane Doe street person in Santanella, California. Police originally considered her death a drug overdose. More than a year later, in September 1994, another Jane Doe was found in Crestview, Florida. Jesperson claims her name was Suzanne.
Man, he's killing these lock lizards. Yo,
Yeah,
you know what a lock
anything.
lizard is?
Prostitute that works a truck stop.
Yep.
You know, having a truck stop across the street from me, I thought I'd see a lot more lot lizards. I'm very upset that I haven't.
I don't know, because it technically didn't open in the wintertime. Bet during the summertime you might see more.
That'd be cool. Maybe I can get a couple to come over and clean my house. Naked. No way. In January 1995, Jesperson agreed to take a young woman, Angela Surbrise, from Spokane, Washington to Indiana in his truck. Approximately a week into the trip, Surbrise became impatient and began to nag Jesperson to hurry up as she wanted to see her boyfriend. In response, Jesperson raped and strangled her. He then strapped her to the undercarriage of his truck and dragged her face down to grind off her face and prints. Dude, what the fuck?
He's getting more violent, obviously.
Dude, what the what? Who does that, dude? What?
Fucking sociopath shit, look at him, man.
Dude, that's brutal. Her body was not found for several months, and then only after Jesperson gave details to the police. 2 months after murdering Surbrise, Jesperson decided that his longtime girlfriend Julianne Winningham was only interested in him for his money. On March 10, 1995, in Wasco, Washington, Jesperson strangled her. She was the only victim he had a link to, which ultimately led police to his trail. Jesperson was arrested on March 30th, 1995 for the murder of Winningham. He had been questioned by police a week before, but they had no grounds to arrest him after he refused to talk. In the days following, Jesperson decided that he was certainly going to be arrested, and after 2 failed suicide attempts, he turned himself in, hoping it would result in leniency during his sentencing. While in custody, Jesperson began revealing details of the killings and making claims of many others, most of which he later recanted. Also, a few days before his arrest, he wrote a letter to his brother in jail. In it, he confessed to having killed 8 people over the course of 5 years. This led police agencies in several states across the country to reopen old cases, many of which were found to be possible victims of Jesperson. Although Jesperson at one point claimed to have had as many as 160 victims, only the 8 women killed in California, Florida, Nebraska, Oregon, Washington, and Wyoming have ever been confirmed. He is serving 3 consecutive life sentences at the Oregon State Penitentiary in Salem. In September 2009, he was indicted for murder in Riverside County, California, and was extradited to California to face the charges in December.
Jesus, 75 years.
Early in the investigation of Tanja Bennett's murder, Laverne Pavlinick read the news reports surrounding Tanja Bennett's death and saw it as an opportunity to force an end to the long-term abusive relationship she had been in with her live-in boyfriend, John Sosnovsky. She set up a meeting with the investigating detectives and gave a false confession, using the details she had read in reports to give a detailed story of how Sosnovic forced her to help him rape, murder, and dispose of Bennett's body. Pavlinack and Sosnovic were convicted of murder in February 1991 to avoid the possibility of facing the death penalty. Sosnovic pleaded guilty. He was sentenced to life in prison, while Pavlinack was sentenced to no less than 10 years, much more than she had anticipated. She soon admitted to making it all up, but her claims were ignored. That's what you get. On November 27, 1995, more than 4 years since their conviction, Pavlinack and Sosnovic were released from prison after Jesperson and his attorney offered his confession with convincing evidence of his guilt. He had given police officers the location of the victim's purse. The purse had not been found, and its location was considered information by only the killer would know. Now, here's how he became known as the Happy Face Killer. In the weeks following Tanja Bennett's murder, as well as all the attention was going to the Pavlinack and Sosnovic, Jesperson wrote a confession on the bathroom wall of a truck stop and signed it with a smiley face. When that did not create the attention he desired, he wrote letters to the media outlets and police departments confessing his murders, starting with a 6-page letter to the Oregon Indian in which he revealed the details of his killing. He signed each letter with a smiley face. This led Phil Stanford, the journalist working on the story of the Oregonian, to dub Jesperson the Happy Face Killer.
Hold on. Before you continue on, Happy Face Killer look like Cheetah. I'm just saying. It.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, fuck, he does. Look at it.
Nothing like me.
Rich, enhance the photo.
Nothing like me.
Face by face. I want to see it.
Dude, it doesn't look nothing like me. That does not look like me.
Yeah, it does. Got the snow. Hey, look. Wait, let me see. Yeah. Right
Does that look like me?
Yeah, it looks like Cheetah right there.
It does not look like me at all, dude.
Hey, viewers.
What are you talking about, bro? It don't look like me at all.
Is it glasses? Does nose?
That's the only thing. The glasses.
The weird ass hair.
What are you talking about? I got weird hair.
You do got weird hair.
You're the one that only shaves the side of your head.
Oh,
Look at you
look
talking
at
about weird hair.
Look at that.
You look like a girl.
Oh.
Yes, sir.
That looks nothing like me.
Yeah, he does.
His nose is pointy.
Yeah, my nose ain't pointy.
His nose is
round.
pointy and flat.
No, it ain't. That doesn't look nothing like me.
Yeah, it does.
No, it don't. Yo, that look like me?
I don't see it.
Exactly.
I see it.
Yeah, well, you're dumb. So.
Viewers.
I can't believe you just tried to I can't believe you just tried to say I look like the Happy Face Killer. This motherfucker. In November 2008, Jesperson's daughter, Melissa G. Moore, appeared on the Dr. Phil show to talk about her father. She was also featured on the Oprah Winfrey Show on September 17, 2009, and a 2020 special on August 20th, 2010. Moore lived with her father until her parents divorced in 1990. Moore noticed her father was different when she was in elementary school. Their house bordered an apple orchard, and her dad killed stray cats and gophers that wandered nearby. One day she watched horrified as he hung stray kittens from the family's clothesline. She ran to get her mother, and when they returned, the kittens laid on the ground dead. He had watched and laughed as the kittens clawed each other to escape, and then he killed them.
Wow.
It's fucking brutal, dude.
Yeah.
Hey, you know, I always think about serial killers always start with the close ones, their mom or dad. And who was the victim? Him to his dad. At one point, he had to like pay $30 rent, as his other brothers and sisters don't have to. Just imagine being a middle child.
Yeah, crazy. Crazy shit, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so the whole reason I wanted to, well, not the whole reason, but one of the reasons why I wanted to do the Happy Face Killer is because in March, Paramount Plus is putting out like a docu-series about the Happy Face Killer and his daughter. Or when they were speaking, like, while he was in jail or while he's in jail and shit. And I seen it, and it looked good, and then I remembered hearing about the Happy Face Killer, like, years ago. I listened to a podcast about it, and I'm like, you know what, that'd be a good episode to talk about. I honestly kind of thought that the show was coming out in February. That's why I wanted to talk about it now. So
Yeah,
I could
so
watch
did
the
I.
show, and then I realized it wasn't coming out until March. So
We had the game. We can bring it up again.
yeah, we'll remind you when the show drops.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm pretty excited. I'm excited to see what it's about. It's always interesting to see, how the children react to it, because like we talked about before when we talked about the Golden State Killer, when he finally got caught and arrested, his daughter, like, she's like, oh, I would have never guessed, he was a perfect dad,
Mm-hmm.
like they had no idea. That's crazy. You know what I mean? Like how could just be a normal ass person to you, and the whole time he's just out there murdering people. That's wild.
Yeah.
That's why they say a lot of times you could literally walk by a serial killer every day and not even know.
No, because it's odd to say. You really don't know.
The thing about people like Jesperson and like the BTK killer though is they kill and they want the reward of people knowing that it was them, and that's how they get caught. Because BTK did the same thing. He wrote a letter to police basically confessing everything, and that's how they caught him. Because he wanted the attention from it. He fed off the attention it brought him. So,
Look at
a lot of people.
Casey, look how he caved as soon as he got questioned.
Well, a lot of them, they say that a lot of serial killers are just waiting to get caught.
Yeah.
They just want somebody to catch them so that they can finally, you know what I mean? Like, they do it for the attention, but they do it for, like, they do it because they want to be caught. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of them will tell, like, if you listen to, like, confessions of, like, killers and shit, a lot of them will, like, straight up be like, listen, I'm glad I got caught because I know I could have never stopped. You know what I mean? Some people feel like that, man. Some people got that bloodlust and they just, they can't control it.
It's a drug.
Yeah. I mean, I'd probably rather just do regular drugs than kill people, but, that's just me.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what it's like to be in that type of situation, but yeah, you'll see that with like a lot of serial killers and shit. A lot of them will straight up tell you, like, I'm happy I got caught because I know I would have never stopped.
You think Ted Bundy would say that?
Well, Ted Bundy was just fucking sociopath.
All right.
How about the other one?
Who, Dahmer? Dahmer was just fucked in the head.
There's another one that could have got caught so many times, especially if the cops listen to the neighbor.
Mm-hmm.
How many times did she call 911?
Hey, here's another one. Go ahead. Well, my neighbor died again. He's killed kitties, cats. There was a human in there. Never saw it come back out. Okay, Miss Storrs. We hop onto it.
That's-
Choo-choo-choo-choo-choo.
How many times she called about the smell?
Oh, here's pretty cool. Detectives in Portland theorized that some unknown friend of Snoskovik's wrote the... oh, wait, hold on. Let me read this. This is talking about like when that lady accused her boyfriend Sosnovic, when they charged him for the murder of Tanja. Case closed, or was it? By the time Snosovic copped his plea, investigators had already hit another snag. In January, while Laverne Pelvinick was on trial, a message was found written on a men's room wall at the Greyhound bus depot in Livingston, Montana. It read, "I killed Tanja Bennett, January 21st, 1990 in Portland, Oregon. I beat her to death, raped her, and loved it. I'm sick, but I enjoy myself too. 2 people took the blame, and I'm free." A few days later, in a truck stop men's room in Umalta, Oregon, a second message was found. "I killed Tanja Bennett in Portland. 2 people got the blame, so I can kill again." Both messages were signed with a happy face, a circle with 2 dots for an eye, and a broad crescent smile. Detectives in Portland theorized that some unknown friend of Snoskovic's wrote the graffiti in an effort to spring John from prison, but the author was untraceable. Then in 1994, the Portland Oregonian received a letter in the same awkward handwriting signed with the smiling face. This time, the author claimed a total of 6 victims, including 5 more in Oregon and 1 in California. "I feel bad," he wrote, "but I will not turn myself in. I am not stupid." The letter went on, "In a lot of opinions, I should be killed, and I feel I deserve it. My responsibility is mine, and God will be my judge when I die. I am telling you this because I feel responsible for these crimes and no one else. It all started when I wondered what it would be like to kill somebody, and I found out what a nightmare it has been." Despite the indication of remorse, the letter closed on an ominous note. "Look over your shoulder. I'm closer than you think." That's fucking weird. That's creepy.
Yes.
The apparent author of the Happy Face notes was identified in March 1995, shortly after the remains. Oh yeah, let's talk about his ex-girlfriend, or his girlfriend, Julianne Winningham. Yeah, when they picked up Jesperson for questioning, he soon confessed to his roles in a series of murders around the Pacific Northwest, including Tanja Bennett's. Authorities were skeptical until Jesperson led them to Bennett's missing purse. Media reports claim Jesperson wept with joy when John Snoskovic and Laverne Pelvinick were released from the custody on November 27th. By that time, Jesperson, or Face, as he liked to sign his letters from prison, had more pressing matters to worry about. His string of confessions had a price tag attached in the form of subsequent indictments and convictions. A new case had also been opened since his arrest with the September 1995 discovery of a woman's badly decomposed remains along Interstate Highway 80 in Nebraska. A tattoo and x-rays identified the woman as 21-year-old Angela Surprise, an Oklahoma City native last seen alive in Wyoming, with Jesperson in January 1995. The trucker, for his part, admitted to killing Surprise in Wyoming, afterward tying her corpse beneath his truck and dragging it for 10 or 12 miles before he finally dumped it after crossing into Nebraska. Part of the problem for investigators was the ever-changing list of Jesperson's confessions. At one point, he allegedly confessed to 160 murders, describing his victims as piles of garbage dumped on the roadside, but he soon recanted most of the stories. One case he backtracked on was that of Angela Surprise. Doubtless influenced by Wyoming's expressed intent to indict him on capital charges, he still admitted to knowing Angela, even sharing her bed on occasion, but now insisted they had parted ways while on the road. Surprise continued cast word on her own to meet her fate at someone else's hands. Crazy. Yep.
How will you rank this serial killer?
I don't know, man. Why always asking me dumb questions?
And dumb question, it's a smart question.
No, it's not stupid.
It's not stupid, but how you rank it?
I don't know. It's hard to rank them, man. You can't they're not fucking movies you like.
What's you rank them in the top 10 at least?
I don't know, man. I'm gonna rank you in the punch in the face.
You had to catch me first.
Oh.
You can't run fast.
Yeah, I can.
Oh, here's another eerie thing for you. Keith is once quoted as saying, "It was their fate to die by my hands, like a car accident or illness." So this guy legit got off on killing. Yeah, now... Yeah, as far as I know, he's still in prison. Oregon somewhere. Or California, I think.
Oregon. It was Oregon. Hey, let's go and visit him.
No. They should have like a program where you can write letters to serial killers.
You can.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, let's do it.
There,
You're badass.
there's a book called which I've read, The Serial Killer Whisperer. It's this kid who was in a jet ski accident. He fell off his jet ski, then was ran over by another jet ski, and he went to a coma and almost died. And during his rehab, he found out that a lot of serial killers have traumatic events in their life.
Mm-hmm.
So he was worried that he would become a serial killer. So he started writing to Jeffrey Dahmer, all these serial killers. The Genesee River killer. And a lot of the serial killers are had fucked up lives.
Oh, yeah, it doesn't surprise me.
They were abused. The Genesee River serial killer here, his mom was a prostitute, and he was forced to have sex with his mom's friends.
Well, here's something cool. Let me try and get through this real quick. I just found an article that Keith's daughter did about when she found out, when she was told that her dad was a serial killer. Let me tell you about the last time I saw my dad before he was sent to prison. I was 15 years old when he showed up randomly at our house in Spokane, Washington State. He and my mother were divorced, and we just saw him occasionally when he fit us in with his job as a long-distance truck driver. On this particular day, in autumn 1994, he asked me and my younger brother and sister if we wanted to go out for breakfast with him. We all hopped into his big truck, which had a sleeper cab attached to it. My sister and I sat in the sleeper cab on top of the mattress, and my brother sat in the passenger seat. After we set off, my brother opened the glove compartment and found a pack of cigarettes. He was really shocked because smoking was a big no-no for my dad. That had always been something he wanted to instill in us, and he said, "Oh, those are for my friends, for the women that I pick up." My brother pulled a face like he didn't really believe him, as to say, "Dad, are you hiding something from us? Maybe you're a closet smoker." As we were turning the corner by my high school, a big roll of duct tape rolled out of the sleeping compartment, which struck me as pretty strange too. I thought, why does my dad have duct tape by his pillow? But I kind of brushed it off, thinking, well, everything's probably in weird places because there's not a lot of space in here. My brother and sister had plans that morning, so we dropped them off, and it was just my dad and I that went downtown to a diner. I loved my dad, but I didn't really enjoy being around him. He made me anxious. He never molested us or beat any of us. It was just a feeling that was building, seething beneath the surface, and I had once tried to articulate it to a school counselor, but it didn't come out right. I mean, a lot of kids think their dad is weird. One of the many things about my dad which made me very uncomfortable as a young woman was that he was very explicit about his sexual relationships. For example, he sometimes went into graphic detail about what it had been like sleeping with my mother. He would leer at women in public, make lewd remarks about them, and harass them. That morning, in the Denny's diner, was no different. I remember him flirting horribly with the waitress while we sat in a window booth. It was during this meal that my dad said, "Not everything is what it appears to be, Missy." And I said, "What do you mean, Dad?" I watched him wrestling with something internally. Then he said, "You know, I have something to tell you, and it's really important." There was a long silence before I asked him what it was. "I can't tell you, sweetie. If I tell you, you'll go to the police. I'm not what you think I am, Melissa." I felt my stomach drop, like I was on a roller coaster and had just hit the lowest part of the loop. I had to run to the bathroom. When I returned to the booth, I felt calm again and found to my relief that my dad was willing to just drop the conversation. But I go back to that incident so often and think, if he had told me, what would have happened next? If he had told me about his 7 murders, it was very soon to be 8. Would I have gone to the police, had revealed his secrets? Would he have given me the chance? Could my father have killed me? That has been a huge question mark in my life. It was a few months after that trip to the diner in March 1995 that my mother told us 3 kids that he had been arrested for murder. For murder. It was just overwhelming, and I ran to the bed I was sleeping on and started crying. I couldn't fathom how my dad could have done such a thing. Then I started to think back to the days when we lived together as a family on a farm in Washington State. When I was 5, I found these beautiful little kittens in the cellar of our farmhouse, and I took them outside to play with. When my dad saw what I had in my hands, he took them, casually hung them up on the clothesline, and began to torment them. I remembered his enjoyment as I screamed and pleaded with him to take them down. Later on, I found their little bodies in the back of our garden. Another time, he found me and my brother petting a beautiful black cat. My father is 6 foot 6 inches and a big burly man. He hovered over us and said, in a playful sort of way, "What have you got there?" He grabbed the cat, but to my relief, he started to pet it. Then began to pin the cat down with one hand and twist the animal's head with another. The animal was frantically scratching his arms, and we were screaming, but my father had the same strange look on his face, a look of enjoyment. He was arrested for the murder of his girlfriend, Julie Wingenham, but I was told nothing about what he had done. My mother made it clear that it was not a topic she was willing to discuss. The stifling atmosphere at home did not help me in the long term, but now I understand that she was trying to protect me. Throughout the summer of 1995, I sneaked out to the library to read reports of my father's trial. It was during this trial that he confessed to the murders of a number of other women, although he was to recant some of those confessions later. It was like there was another Keith Jesperson. I had caught glimpses of this other man, but I also remembered when my dad came home from long-haul truck drives. He would be so doting and kind. He seemed like such a good dad at the time. Then again, he had some very strange things over the years. You know, I drove past Oregon State Penitentiary and I honked my horn, he told me on the phone one time. I said, someday I'm going to be in there, but not yet. When I was 13, we were driving along the Columbia River, a beautiful wide river that separates the Washington State and Oregon. We were just getting close to the Multnomah Falls area when my dad announced, "I know how to kill somebody and get away with it." Then he just started to tell me how he would cut off the victim's buttons so that there wouldn't be any fingerprints left, and he would wear cycling shoes that didn't have a distinctive print in the mud. At that time, I put this down to my father's penchant of detective fiction, but years later I realized he'd been driving through the area where he had disposed of Tanja Benton's body 3 years earlier. I think he wanted to relive it and enjoy the moments again. My dad felt compelled to share his crimes as he did in the messages that he left at truck stops or sent in letters to the media. They were always signed with a smiley face, leading the media to dub him the happy face killer.
Dun, dun, dun.
In 1995, I wasn't capable of balancing out these memories and feelings with the reports I was reading in the library. One day I read an article that quoted Wingham's son, who called my dad a monster and said he should be executed. I knew he had every right to say it, but it was just daggers to my heart. I mean, this was my dad. I stopped reading the newspaper reports after that for my own sanity, perhaps. I was able to compartmentalize what my father had done. I thought he's a truck driver. He comes and goes. Now he's gone out of my life for a long time, and I don't need to think about this stuff. I got stared at in high school when the news came out. Parents were really shaken up by the thought that their children might have been in harm's way, so they kept them away from me, and I began to feel tremendous guilt and shame. But during the summer of 1995, I had other more immediate worries. For a start, I was in a violent, abusive relationship with a boy, something I think my father primed me for. Somehow, I ended up feeling that I had to pay restitution for his crimes. I felt dirty. I felt less of a person. I felt isolated. I felt alone. I used to think that I couldn't live in this world and be part of it. I would always be a spectator watching normal people go about their lives. There isn't a book out there called What Do You Do When You Find Out That Your Dad's a Serial Killer. There's nothing out there that tells you what to do. I was also worried. I knew I wasn't capable of killing anybody. I knew I wasn't a sociopath, and yet, didn't I share my father's DNA? How does one become a serial killer? That be evil? Could that evil be something that I was carrying around and I could even pass on to my children? It became a part of my life that I kept very secret. When I dated boys, I would never bring it up because there's no point of scaring anybody away like that. But I was lucky enough to eventually find a wonderful man and get married and have my own children. One day in May 2008, I watched my daughter excitedly jump down from her school bus, bursting with a question that she couldn't wait to ask me. That day in kindergarten, they had been learning about family units, and she had been told that everyone in the world has a mummy and daddy. This was breaking news to her. Mummy, everyone has a daddy. Where's your daddy? I thought, how do I explain this to her? She's so adorable. She's so sweet and precious. How do I tell her who her grandfather is? In the end, I said, oh, he lives in Salem. That was the first thing that popped in my head, and it's the truth. He is in prison there, serving consecutive life sentences. But I realized that unless I addressed this issue properly, my father's crimes would affect my daughter, just as they had me. We looked very alike, she and I. I looked at her face, and it was like a mirror onto the past, onto the little girl I had once been. That was the moment that changed everything. For years I had been living in hiding, but that afternoon the pain of living with secrets became greater than the pain of speaking out and telling the world who I really was. I wrote a memoir, Shattered Silence, and I started to give interviews to the media. After I appeared on the Oprah Winfrey Show in 2009, I received hundreds of emails from family members of other serial killers thanking me for telling my story and asking for help and advice. I travel to see these people or speak to them on the phone. It's given my life meaning and direction. I've created a whole network for people like me. Daughters, sons, siblings, parents, grandparents of serial killers. So far, I've had direct contact with more than 300 people like this. We are an underground community. Recently, I was contacted by the mother of two young girls whose father was a serial killer and had been all over the papers in Europe. One of these girls was so depressed she was thinking of suicide. I asked my network to write letters to the girls to let them know it gets better in time, and it does. All these people have their own story, and each of them is on his or her own journey of recovery, but there's some emotions and processes we all go through. We all have a period of denial. We all ride that pendulum of shock and grief. Then comes the anger. Okay, I'm at the end here. My father will never get the death penalty for his crimes, but he should. And I don't say that for myself, but for his victims. Justice will never be served to them. I'm not going to go into details of the horrific torture he inflicted on those poor women, who were mothers and daughters and sisters. Not all of his victims have been identified. There are some parents who still don't know where their daughter or sister disappeared to. I've spoken with family members of the first victim, Tanja Bennett. They had a lot of details about her life and who she was as a person, which I really wanted to know. I've also spoken to his only survivor, who he brutally raped in front of her infant and tried to strangle. She reached out to me and we arranged to speak on the phone. I was very nervous before the call, and I won't deny it was hard to hear the graphic details about her assault, but I believe it was a powerful gift that she gave me. If I wanted to delude myself about what he had done, I couldn't anymore. I couldn't live in La La Land. I haven't seen him for almost a decade. After my book came out in 2008, I got a letter from him in which he said, I don't want the world to judge me as a dad. I was a great dad. My only mistake was my 8 errors in judgment. But he's talking about murders. He's calling them errors in judgment. That's the way he sees things. How can anyone, even someone as close as a daughter, continue to have a relationship with a person who so completely lacks compassion and honesty? For years, I kidded myself. I knew I had done terrible things, but I knew he had done terrible things, but I still believed that he loved me and my siblings, and that he was capable of love and empathy. Then one day, while I was working on my book, I had a conversation with my grandfather. He told me, I went to visit your dad in prison, and he said something that surprised me. He said that he had thoughts of killing you children. Maybe people won't understand this, but hearing that gave me freedom. It allowed me to see that in the truth, there had been no double life. There had only ever been one Keith Jesperson, and he had been able to manipulate everyone around him and present different facades to the world. And finally, I knew the answer to the question that had been bothering me every time I thought about our last breakfast together in the diner. Would he have killed me if I had told the police about his crimes? Yes, he would. Understanding that allowed me to say goodbye to him. So, wow, man. Shout out to his daughter. It's kind of cool to hear from her point of view, you know, what it's like.
You never really hear the point of view of this.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Good on her for, taking that and turning it into something good.
Yeah.
Using it to help other people. That's pretty cool. It's crazy shit, dude. Can you imagine if you heard, like, not only you find out your dad's a serial killer, but then you find out years later that he admitted to, like, oh yeah, I wanted to kill my children. Like, what the fuck? How do you deal with that?
Right.
I wouldn't be able to.
How does he sleep at night?
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I'm excited to see what the show's like.
Yeah. It looks pretty good.
Now that I know, kind of from both sides, it'll be cool. Just, kind of see it. But yeah, it's crazy shit, dude. But yeah, we almost never, in all the years that I've been, listening to serial killer podcasts and shit, you almost never get to hear from, like, the family's point of view. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
See what it was like for her. It's crazy shit, man. I couldn't imagine.
No.
If I was ever killing people and you guys knew about it, I would expect you to kill me yourselves. Don't let me get away with it. Hold me accountable, Yoder. Yeah, there you go.
I ain't gonna shoot him. I'll put him out elbow, chef.
Damn, dude. You ain't gotta kill me in a brutal way. Jeez, that's not fair.
Or trying to torture you.
The fuck, man? Are you sure you're not a serial killer?
Nah, man.
You might be. You're over there, Yoder, falling asleep, man? Getting a little tired?
Yeah, I don't know what.
Aw, poor little Yodes. Aw. Aw. Poor little old man. Gotta go home, pull your knee-high socks up, get in bed,
Get my tidy whities.
and watch some Jimmy Carson. Good for you, pal. So yeah, I guess that concludes the story of Keith Jesperson, a.k.a. the Happy Face Killer. That was a good one.
Yeah.
It's a good,
definitely was.
I like that it was, like, brutal, but not, like, super brutal. You know what I mean? Because, like,
Yeah.
there's one that, like, I've talked to Fiden about a couple times, and he wants me to do it on here, and I don't think I could ever do it, because I wouldn't be able to talk about it. It's too fucked up. But Albert Fish, you ever heard of him? Oh, dude. I'll tell you off the pod, dude. It's fucked. I don't think I could ever do it just because of how brutal this shit is. I don't think I could read through it. It'd be too much. You know what I mean? Like, I've only ever listened to one podcast about him, and that was enough for me. I can't do it ever again. It was brutal. It's, like, bad, dude. Like, some, like serious, like, fucked up shit. Like, some serious, like, you got some brain issues type of shit. It's fucked.
Did they cut the shit down the chest?
Nah, dude. I'll tell you when the pod ends. I don't want to say it on here. It's pretty fucked. But, yeah, it's brutal. So, yeah. I don't know. You guys got anything else to say before we wrap it up? Or?
Now, check our socials. Follow us. Wherever the doodads, who has about it. Subscribe, like, comment. We definitely appreciate your feedback.
Yeah. Follow me on Letterboxd. That Gator needs his gat.
What's the for this week?
Top 4 war movies.
Is Saving Private Ryan on there?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of the best movies ever.
It's The Gladiator.
No, it's not a war movie.
It's Patriot. Mel Brooks.
No, it's Red Dawn. One of my all-time favorite movies ever.
Which one?
Come on,
The
the
reboot?
OG, bro.
Oh,
Always. Saving Private Ryan. Then Hacksaw Ridge. You ever seen that movie? It's a great movie. You know what's even crazier as I heard about that movie is that they had to cut a lot of the shit that he actually did in real life out of the movie because a lot of people said it was so unbelievable. Like, it was hard to believe how many people he saved without ever firing a gun. He saved like over 70 people without ever firing a gun. It's crazy. And then final, Glory. Maybe one of the best war movies ever. You never seen Glory?
Well,
Matthew Broderick,
yeah, but
Denzel Washington.
American Sniper. Come on.
Eh.
Zero Dark 30.
Eh.
Black Hawk Down.
I want like old school, dude. I watched Glory in high school. We watched it in high school, and I was enamored with it. I thought it was I thought it was fucking wild. And then when they're about to go into battle, and Matthew Broderick was like, "Oh, tell them what you saw here today." Fire line, dude. Fire. It's probably because I loved Ferris Bueller so much. Then to see Matthew Broderick in a role like that, it was like, holy fuck, this dude's got range. Yoda, we're gonna get you on here to watch fucking Heavyweights, man. I'm committed. They just had their 30th anniversary. It's gonna happen soon. You're gonna love it. You're gonna be like, damn, why I never watched this movie before. It's so good. Also, I meant to mention it last week and I forgot. Did you guys see it? They identified Jack the Ripper finally.
I think it was a barber.
Yeah, they new DNA because of how good DNA is now. They finally identified him.
Really?
Yep. Let me see. I got the picture. It was like the guy's name's like Kaminsky something. Historian Russell Edwards says he has identified Jack the Ripper as Aaron Kaminsky via a DNA match taken from Shaw purported to be found at the scene of one of the murders. This is a rough drawing of what he looked like. That'd be crazy, man.
He got a mustache.
Put a ending to one of the craziest mysteries ever. I'd be kind of sad, honestly, if they solved it. Because, like, now what are we gonna,
How about
I guess we still got the Zodiac Killer.
How about Davey Cooper?
Oh. Sorry, I got distracted. I seen a hot woman and got distracted. Yeah, I don't think we'll ever get an answer with DB Cooper. I know my answer, though. I think he survived. Or who was on here the one time? Was it Andy? He was telling us that he thought it was all, like, fake. Was it Andy that told us that?
Yeah.
Yeah. How about no, Andy? How about that? Okay? How about don't shit on my dreams? Yeah, dude. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm trying to think of anything else, like, big happened, really, recently. Not really. Like, news-wise. Oh, you guys see the prison guards striking? What's that about?
Yeah,
Anybody know what that's about? I know they just charged a bunch of the guys today for murdering that guy, that prisoner that was in handcuffs. They beat the shit out of him.
Is that what? Is this?
They beat him to death.
I'm kind of ignorant. I don't know what the strike is.
Yeah, I don't
the
know what it's
strike
about either.
over that?
Yeah, I have no idea. That's why I was asking. I thought maybe you guys knew.
No.
Hey, Rich, you know about the strike?
The prison guard strike?
Not really. I just know that they
Yeah, I know.
technically. I know the one thing they announced today was that technically under New York State law, they can't strike. So if they don't go back to work, then they'll get docked like 2 days for every day that they're on strike.
Oh,
damn.
Like that's like a New York State law. Because like when technically teachers can't strike, it's the same rule.
Yeah.
Right.
So we'll see if like how If I feel bad for them because they feel like they've got to strike because of their conditions, but at the same time, they're going to have to really truly believe in it, or they're going to get fined.
Yeah. Right.
So
I know they're calling in parole officers.
Yeah, they called the National Guard, I think, too.
Her National Guard only went to 2 spots out of 43.
Hey, man.
You hear that, Kev? You hear our government's getting sued by the general attorney?
Our government's always being sued by somebody. If you're being sued, it means you're doing something right. Yoder. You're not helping your case here, man. You got the real old man socks on, too. You're not helping your case,
Yo,
man.
I'm surprised you got those slip-ons.
You got, like, the hunting socks on right now.
Yeah, I got my bands on. My slip-ons.
I was not prepared.
Oh, Yoder. You're funny.
I left the house and I'm like, oh, damn.
That's
Hey,
all
yo,
right, it
hey, yo,
happens.
do you forget your walker in the car?
No, it's in the trunk.
It's all right. We're gonna be there one day too. I'm already getting there. I'm already old, man. I don't do nothing. All I do is sleep.
All right.
God, I'm fucking attractive, man. I am. You know.
All
I'm telling
right.
you, man. A dating show would be a hit because who wouldn't want to date me? Look at me.
Right.
Fucking gorgeous. We gotta get Alyssa on here, man, for the dating show. Alyssa Lewick. We're gonna rig it so me and her win, actually, so we could finally be together. I've had a crush on the girl since I was like 17, dude. Playing the long game, Yoder. I call her my Moby Dick.
Boom,
One
boom,
day I'm
boom.
gonna get her. One day.
Moby Dick was as fierce as a whale. He ate the captain.
See the
yeah,
guy
well,
that
I'm
was
gonna eat Moby Dick.
got hit. He was eaten by a whale.
Yeah. And then they spit
Kayaking.
him back out.
And
Yeah.
he spit him back out.
We did talk about that.
Yeah,
in our-
remember early days of our episodes? We did an episode about a guy being swallowed by a whale.
It was just random shit.
Yeah, and then we
Oh,
named
what the
that.
fuck
We
are
had such a
you-
good name for an episode too. And we wasted it. The episode was called "Whale." Would you look at that?
Well, you look at that.
It
Boom,
was a
boom,
great
boom.
name for an episode. And then we talked
Yeah.
about the whale for literally 5 minutes.
Can you imagine? Why are you kayaking in the middle of the ocean?
I don't know, man. Maybe he was escaping Epstein. Still alive, by the way. Faked his death. It's a story for another day.
Yes.
All right. You know it's getting near the end of the pod because now we're just rambling about
Yes.
random shit. Like we
Who's
always do. Yeah, who's next?
God.
Him, I think.
What?
You had Andy on. And then
Twice?
me. I think you're next.
One time?
Yeah. Don't fuck it up, please. Don't
Yo.
do something stupid.
Yeah, I might have my tail off when I got there. I might go on a route of mystical creatures again.
Just don't make it a weird one, please. Make it a,
You might like
cool
it.
one.
You might like it.
All right. Well, let's get off there then, so we can discuss. All
Thanks
right.
for riding along, losers.
Yep. And remember, always check on your homies.
Yes. Don't let another friend die.